The Cadre of the Raven's Veil is not who we thought they were. Since May, there's been a couple more pieces of HeroQuest news that have came out about Rise of the Dread Moon. The very first is this tweet from April 19th. The Dread Moon is nearing its zenith. On 7/15, which is July 15th, the latest HeroQuest expansion, Rise of the Dread Moon, will be available in the following languages: English, Spanish, French, German, and Italian. Then on May 19th, in the Avalon Hill Discord server, and Carmine told us exactly who the Cadre are. And they are not the bad guys, as well as showed us a picture of some of the miniatures included within this set. Still attempting to decipher that letter's signature, are we? Perhaps we can shed some moonlight upon the subject. Originally founded by Ladril the Fighter Mage, the Cadre of the Raven's Veil is a secret society of elves who have sworn a blood oath to protect the royal throne of Elithorn from the clutches of dread. Often working from behind the shadows, their activities often go unnoticed and are seldom recognized, quietly ensuring the continued stability of their kingdom. Membership in the Cadre is limited to those elves considered most honorable and noble to their people, with a roster kept hidden from even the royal court. And this image here has a couple things to look at. The first of which is the thing that draws your eye right away, the Red Guardian Knight. It's a miniature with the helmet on, so that is for sure confirmed. Secondly, there's the three specters surrounding all of those characters. And, just like the card art, they're very curvy of course. As people may have guessed, they are in transparent plastic, but I'm kind of surprised that Avalon Hill didn't go for a translucent blue like some Lego pieces are. And next, surrounding the knight there, is the Cadre of the Raven's Veil, or at least 4 of them. We don't know yet if they're going to be like mercenaries where you control them, or whether they're going to be NPCs in the quest that Zargon would control but actually help you. But what we can tell is what weapon loadouts they have. The one on the very left there, which might be a woman, it's hard to tell with elves, has 2 crossbows pointed at the ground, looking like they're not quite ready to fight just yet. They haven't spotted the enemies. Moving to the right there, we have one with a crossbow drawn, as well as what could be a dagger or a short sword. I'm leaning towards dagger though. Third, we have one wielding a halberd of some kind. I don't think that it's a glaive because it's not a spiky knife on the end, it looks more axe-like, but it's too skinny to be an axe. And fourthly, the one on the right that might be a scout there is kneeling, and has their sword pointed towards the ground. The fact that they have their hand on the ground too makes it seem like they're almost tracking something, but I'm not sure how much sense that would make in a dungeon, where it would be easy to see footprints or no footprints would appear on the stone tiles. But that's not all the news, because once again, Modena Game Fest happened in Italy, and there was some Rise of the Dread Moon stuff there. Let's take a look at this video that Crossover Universo Nerd had posted. The first thing that I have to say with this is that they did an excellent job of set dressing. Not only do they have the fireplace there, but they have doors, they have a weapons rack, which actually surprised me when I saw that shield. And interestingly enough, that's the old shield right there. That's not the new Zargon shield. That's the shield with the fleur-de-lis. That alchemist bench is kind of cool too. I know that it's just plastic chains and stuff, but it still looks very nice. Now we get onto the miniatures, which they've only shown a couple. Here's the Spectre card, which we have seen before. Nothing's new with that. But they did show a couple more angles of the Spectres we did not see before. From here, it looks like they have a fair amount of texture on them, and so you might want to do like a blue glaze or something on these to try and make that stand out a little bit more. Or you could just leave them as they are. They don't necessarily need painting. They appear to have rather large hands, which might just be because they have massive claws on there. And we get a closer look at the Cadre of the Raven's Veil here. We can see that the person crouching is wearing some kind of face mask, hiding their identity. The one with the crossbow and the dagger appears to have a mustache, unless I'm misreading that face detail. And their clothing is rather layered, which is interesting. I'm not quite sure what's on the face of the one with the halberd there. And then we have the back of the new knight skills. Something interesting here is that there's a big kingdom with a waterfall. Is this something that might be coming in brand new expansions in the future? Or was this artwork just made to further differentiate it from the old Guardian Knight skills? And we get a closer look at the Guardian Knight, again with the helmet on the front. Same shield as before, but the fact that they have the helmet means that they could again be either male or female, and it's hard to say whether or not this is the commander, or whether this is just meant to represent a generic knight. The reason why I say it's hard to say is that because legally speaking, Avalon Hill cannot reproduce the same Guardian Knight as before. So they might be working around this by saying that they're just a Guardian Knight, not the commander of the Guardian Knights. However, you could still say that they're the commander, just they have their visor down. Which was way too much elaboration to just say use your imagination. And we get a good look at the new version of the Knight's skills. Knight's Challenge, where it looks like they're stabbing where the camera would be. And then we also got our potions, which seeing this here answers the question that the Potion of Restoration is 300 gold coins and not 1300. Channel Dread, which we've seen before. Something I find interesting about the Cadre of the Raven's Veil here is that even though they're in similar clothing, it's all different. So it adds a lot more interest when you have these all painted up, especially. The fact that they have different weapon loadouts and are different poses helps, but it's a realistic thing that not everybody will have the same uniforms, even if they're in the same group. Especially if it's a very secretive group. Not everybody's going to have the same preferences, especially when their weapons have different specialties that require certain equipment. I was just looking at this picture of the box art again, and something came to me. This wing that was jutting out from the moon in the title. I'm like, what is that? Is there possibly a Pegasus in this? Which was just a ridiculous thought. But then I looked a little bit closer in the background here, and these knights in armor have elven motifs on their shields. It is bird-like feathers, going with the kingdom of Elethorn. Well, it's true that these could just be armored elves. I think that they might be an alternate Dread Warrior sculpt, albeit a little bit less chunky than the ones that are in the base game because they are elves. So I guess we'll have to see whether or not I'm right about that. But it's just something that came to me. If you didn't see it already, I had finally published my Mythic Tier review as well. But unfortunately that's all the HeroQuest news for now, and I'm sure that Avalon Hill will have more coming for us soon, considering that this expansion will be releasing in a month and a half. Thanks for watching, goodbye.